Hey guys.
We just heard the most beautiful album
of the year for sure. I don't think an album has moved me as immediately and intensely as the album we just listened to did. We just listened to Sufjan Stevens' latest album, Carrie Lowell, which is named, I believe, after his mom and his stepdad. Sufjan Stevens is a very important musician to me. He's one of the main musicians that ties together my musical friendship with me and my best friend Dylan. And I've seen him perform live, and it was unbelievable for the Age of Adz tour. And
This is so dumb.
this is proof right here.
I can't hold it in.
I haven't even started talking about the album yet. I can't even damn it Sandy you right now. Look what you did, Sufjan. Look what you did. You beautiful bastard.
This album helped me unlock feelings that I've kept inside for so long.
Good music, that's what it does. It connects with you on a personal and intimate level, and, you know, draws things out of you that you may not even know exist.
I feel like this is the type of album that will save people's lives. You know, like those albums that sometimes you listen to and you're like, okay, it helped me get through things.
I think Sufjan is one of the best, if not the best, lyricists currently making music. You don't hear songwriting like this these days. Like, it throws back to like the 60s where, like, you know, writing folk music was like poetry, and the 70s, and you know, nowadays lyrics have become very shallow for the most part, secondary to the music.
This album will make you want to feel love.
This is easily Sufjan's heaviest album whilst having a very light sound to it. Let's take a little trip down Sufjan memory lane. He had Michigan in 2003, the first album of his that I truly loved. He followed that up with 2004, Seven Swans. 2005, he had Illinois, Come On Feel of the Illinois, which was his kind of breakthrough, you know, with Chicago. And then 5 years went by. No albums. He had some Christmas stuff and some songs. No albums. Then they dropped Age of Adz, 2010. I distinctly remember when that came out. It's all me and my roommates listened to. It was so different than everything else he did because it was very experimental as opposed to just, like, you know, beautiful folk. And it still kept the folk heart, but it took away the simplicity that his other albums kind of shined with. My two favorite albums of his were Age of Adz and Seven Swans. It depends on my mood. Seven Swans is a very straightforward, simple folk album. Age of Adz is, like I said, very in your face. The way I do this album is it feels like a hybrid of those two, while also being a completely different entity.
Just like, I think it's number 4. I'll get a little throwback to an Age of Adz song.
Yeah, that's like a direct
So
line.
Age of Adz,
it's like a direct
literally.
line from one of the songs.
It's the one that I danced to.
Oh, is it too much?
Yeah.
The first song, Death with Dignity, is an incredible opener. I mean, immediately he draws you into his world and right into his brain.
Yeah.
Almost too personally. A roller coaster where you're like...
In his brain.
You just like are all of a sudden, you know, when there's a drop, it just happens and you're there for the next 44 minutes.
Visualizing his memories, being part of his memories. Listening to this song at first, I felt like it was the closest I could get to feeling like I was on a cloud.
I almost cried during this song. I did. It's one of the most honest albums I've ever heard, emotionally, like lyrically, what he's trying to convey. It's a really reflective album. I was thinking a lot about myself throughout it and like my life, and he really toys with the ideas of love and family and mortality. Mortality majorly. He really just takes death and puts it in the forefront of almost every song in a way where it's not scared, it's more of acceptance.
So
inevitability.
yeah, it's like he talks about these things that you think about all the time. When I heard him singing them, it was okay. Like, okay, now I'm calm about all these restless questions I've had my whole life. Okay, this one was one of my favorites because I felt like he was so descriptive with his words. He painted those memories so specifically for you, and I imagined everything so clearly. And it was such a gift.
This song, in not a way that I feel like it's ripping off at all, it is very similar to overall Simon and Garfunkel, but specifically the song The Boxer, which I love. Track 7, The Only Thing, also reminded me of a musician of yesteryear, Nick Drake, who I think a lot of Sufjan fans would probably love. You know, he's an incredible folk musician from the 60s and I think 70s. This song specifically reminded me a lot of his album Pink Moon at times, which is one of my favorite albums, so that was cool to hear a similar sound. There's some really good guitar work on this album.
Yeah.
Like the finger picking.
Jinx.
We did not talk about this at all.
I fell in love with how simple his melody was. And it felt like he wasn't even trying at all. It was just there. It just happened. You know, I'm so tired of hearing overloads of so much sound in one song.
It's like it masks actual musicianship sometimes.
Yeah. The less sound he uses, the more powerful the song was.
This was a really heavy album, like I said, to digest thematically. Obviously.
I'm so sorry, y'all.
No, it's good. It's raw. It's real. You can't fake that unless you have like a squirt bottle.
It's like pinching me down here. You can't see.
Yeah, I'm actually punching in the leg over and over again. Like really hard. Give me your dead legs. This album was everything I could have ever asked for from a Sufjan album. 10 years has gone by since he's done a folk album, and he knocked it out of the park. It's going to be very difficult for an album to top this year.
I honestly don't think there won't be, for me.
Like every other musician has a lot of work to do. On first listen, I am hesitant to give any album a perfect score, just because I feel like a perfect album doesn't exist.
I was thinking the same exact thing.
I give it a 9.5.
I give it a 9.7.
This is one of the best albums I think I've ever heard. So thank you, Sufjan.
I'm so happy that like such beautiful and raw art is out there in the world, so other people could learn from it and grow from it and, you know, use it.
All right, guys. Well, that's our review of Carrie and Lowell. I'm Matt.
And I'm Sandy.
And this is Damn It, Sandy. Whimsical